Hi everyone, I am Dr.J.BHUVANA, Assistant Professor of Chemistry, A.D.M. College for Women, Autonomous, NAGAPATTINAM. Today, we are going to discuss about biological role of some important inorganic compounds. This topic comes under pharmaceutical chemistry in 2nd BSc chemistry. This section of the chapter narrows the focus of the chemistry of human life, that is, the compounds important for the body structure and function. In general, these compounds are either inorganic or organic compounds. So, if an inorganic compound is a substance that does not contain both carbon and hydrogen, many inorganic compounds do contain hydrogen atoms such as water and the hydrochloric acid produced by our stomach. In contrast, only a handful of inorganic compounds contain carbon atoms. Carbon dioxide is one of the few examples for this type. An organic compound is a substance that contains both carbon and hydrogen. Organic compounds are synthesized via covalent bonds within the living organism, including the human body. Recall that carbon and hydrogen are the second and third most abundant element in your body. You will discover how these two elements combine in the foods you eat, in the compounds that make your body structure, and in the chemicals that fuel your functioning. The following section examines the inorganic compounds that are essential for our human life. We are going to discuss about some of the important inorganic compounds. In that, first and foremost element is sodium. The metallic element sodium was first discovered by Sir M. Davy in 1837 when being electrolyzed sodium hydroxide. He discovered sodium by electrolyzing sodium hydroxide. Sodium belongs to group 1 of the periodic table. The metals in this group are monovalent, strongly electropositive, and are soluble in water. They form strong alkaline hydroxide on combining with water. Sodium and potassium are the two most important metals in this group from the point of view of pharmaceutical interest. Sodium is found abundant in nature, but always in combination with other elements such as sodium chloride, as saltpeter, as sodium carbonate, etc. What are the sources of sodium? Common salt is found in seawater, in salt wells, inland lakes, and deposits of rock salt. Other sources of sodium are most in cereals, milk, fruits, and vegetables. During cooking, sufficient amount of sodium chloride is added. What are the biological roles of sodium and its compounds? It is the main base of our body. It is one of the most important cations responsible for maintaining the internal environment, maintaining the osmotic pressure, volume, and the composition of the extracellular fluid. Chloride of the gastric juice comes from sodium chloride of blood. Thus, it supplies the raw material for formation of hydrochloric acid. It forms the alkali reserve of the body and acts as a buffer of blood and tissue. It maintains neuromuscular conductivity and irritability. It maintains cardiac activities. It helps in maintaining the peripheral resistance of blood vessels. In diet, it adds to the tastefulness of food. The salts of sodium, such as its chloride, carbonate, bicarbonate, etc., are important salts which are present in the extracellular fluid of the body. The extracellular fluid plays an important role as a transport medium for various substances moving into and from the cells. Some of the substances present in this body fluid exist as ionized particles, and when these are placed into an electrical field, they migrate to their respective electrodes. Hence, these are also known as electrolytes. Example for this is sodium chloride, which finds use as an electrolyte, plays an important role in maintaining osmotic pressure. What is the human requirement for sodium? Human requirement of salt is 1 to 2 grams daily. Sodium deficiency or excess in body cause marked physiological disturbances. Mild sodium decrease causes of loss of appetite, lethargy and cramps. Massive sodium loss is usually accompanied by a shock, a fall in the blood pressure, limbs become cold, pulse rate become high and the cardiac output is low. Symptoms like vomiting, muscle cramp, etc. may also be there. Sodium deficiency is found in Addison disease, where there is increase in the renal excretion of sodium, leading to a fall in blood sodium level. Mild sodium deficiency can be treated by giving sodium chloride solution orally. That means 0.9% sodium chloride solution is enough. For severe sodium deficiency, isotonic saline solution can be given intravenously. In Addison disease, where there is a continuous loss of sodium, the patient is advised to have additional sodium chloride in the diet itself. Increased sodium retention is associated with retention of water causing edema. The treatment is directed towards the reduction of the sodium level. That means 5% dextrose in water is given till serum sodium level decreases. Less sodium intake is advisable for the patient suffering from high blood pressure. As more sodium is the body causes more fluid, that means more blood volume, which will increase the blood pressure. Sodium carbonate and bicarbonate are generally used as an antacid and as a pharmaceutical aid. The reactions of the body fluids are regulated by their hydrogen ion or hydride ion. The concentration are maintained by the ratio of carbonic acid and bicarbonate. Thus, a fall in carbonic acid or a rise in bicarbonate level will decrease the ratio and the concentration will decrease, leading to alcoholysis. Similarly, a rise in carbonic acid or a fall in bicarbonate will increase the ratio, causing acidosis. It can be corrected by slow injection of sodium bicarbonate, and alcoholysis can be treated by administering ammonium chloride intravenously. In case severe dehydration due to cholera, acute diarrhea, etc., an isotonic saline solution along with isotonic sodium bicarbonate should be given intravenously in the ratio of 2:1. Sodium iodide is used in cases of hypothyroidism as a source of iodine. It is also used as an expectorant. Sodium nitrite can relax smooth muscle, especially to the smaller blood vessels, because of this property. Sodium nitrite is used as a vasodilator. It is also used as an antidote to cyanide poisoning. Sodium citrate and salicylate used as analgesics and antipyretics. Sodium citrate is oxidized by the tissues to an equivalent amount of sodium bicarbonate. Therefore, it is useful as a systemic antacid and also prevents the clotting of blood. Hence, it is used as anticoagulant. It is available both in the form of tablets and as an injection. Sodium metabisulfite used as an antioxidant. These are the applications of or role of sodium and its compound. Next, the important compound is potassium. Metallic potassium was first isolated by Sir Humphrey Davy by the electrolysis of fused hydroxide. What are the sources of potassium? Potassium compounds occurs in the earth crust, especially as silicates. Most of the land plants contain considerable amounts of potassium components which they obtain from soil. Potassium does not occur free in nature and found only in combined state. An important source of potassium are cereals, fruits like orange, banana, green leafy vegetables, tomatoes. Water also contains considerable amount of potassium and sodium. Coconut water also contains 70 m equiliter of potassium. What are the important compounds of potassium? Potassium acetate, potassium bicarbonate, potassium acid tartrate, potassium bromide, potassium chloride, potassium citrate, potassium hydroxide, potassium iodide and potassium permanganate. What is the biological role of potassium in human life? Potassium is present in the intracellular fluid of the body. The concentration of potassium is important for the regulation of volumes and tonicity of extracellular and intracellular body fluid. Potassium is one of the major intracellular cation, which is essentially a cation of the cells. and hence its distribution is related to the cell mass. About 70% of the total potassium in the muscles, 20% present in the brain, and 10% in the skin. Average daily requirement of potassium in an adult is 4 grams. Some of the potassium, biological role of potassium is, with the sodium, it forms main base of the body and it is the chief intercellular cation. It is responsible for the maintaining the bioelectric potential of the cell. It is responsible for maintaining cardiac activities. Excess or lack of potassium depresses neuromuscular conduction. It has a balancing effect along with the sodium on the main base content of the body. Application of high potassium containing solution causes stimulation due to its depolarizing action. In experimental animals, lack of potassium retards growth and may prove fatal also. What is the deficiency of potassium? Potassium deficiency causes poor intake, poor absorption, loss due to alkalosis, diarrhea, etc. The symptoms are weakness of muscles, thirst, lethargy, etc. This deficiency leads to retention of sodium also. So, the normal activity of both skeletal and smooth muscles is impaired. How do you treat this potassium deficiency? Potassium is usually given by mouth itself. The drugs are potassium chloride, potassium bicarbonate, potassium citrate. In emergency cases, potassium can be given intravenously by drip method. Potassium should never be given directly into vein, as this may cause sudden death from cardiac arrest. Generally, the solution which is given intravenously contains sodium chloride, sodium lactate and potassium chloride. What is the causes of excess of potassium? Causes are failure to the kidney to excrete potassium, overdosage with the potassium salt, unusual release of intracellular potassium in burns, severe infection, etc. Some of the symptoms are weakness, paralysis, diarrhea, etc. How do you treat the excess of potassium? Extra potassium should be avoided in the diet. The excretion of the potassium can be enhanced by using glucose. Dextrose and sodium bicarbonate is also given to reduce potassium concentration. What are the therapeutic uses of potassium? Potassium acetate is used as diuretic alkalizer. Potassium acetate used as saline purgative. Potassium bicarbonate is a useful antacid. Potassium bromide is used as a sedative. Potassium chloride is used as a electrolyte replenisher. It is an ingredient of sodium chloride injection and sodium lactate injection. Potassium citrate is useful in osmotic diuretic. Potassium hydroxide is used as a pharmaceutical aid. It is used as a source of iodine. It is also an important laboratory reagent. Potassium permanganate is a powerful oxidizing agent and used as anti-infective or as a disinfectant. Its action is due to the liberation of oxygen which oxidizes the protein of the bacteria and kills them. So it is used as mouthwash and gargle. Next we came to know about calcium and its compound. Plants and animals need calcium salts for bodybuilding. Protective shells of marine animals are mainly made up of calcium carbonate, whereas bones and teeth are made of calcium phosphate. What are the sources of calcium? Calcium occurs in nature only in the combined state, such as carbonate, fluoride, silicates, phosphates, chloride, etc. Food is an important source of calcium. We all know that milk and milk products are the rich source of calcium. Other than milk, green leafy vegetables, cereals like ragi, potato, cheese are the important sources of calcium. What is the human requirement of calcium? An average adult requires 0.5 gram of calcium per day. Pregnant women and lactating mother required about 1 gram daily, and children about 0.7 gram is enough. What are the various compounds of calcium have pharmaceutical importance? Some of the compounds are calcium aminosalicylate, calcium carbonate, calcium chloride, soda lime, calcium phosphate and plaster of Paris. What is the biological role of calcium? We all know that our bone and teeth is mainly made up of calcium. So calcium helps in the formation of bones and teeth. It helps in clotting of blood. It is essential for maintaining neuromuscular activity. It helps to maintain cardiac activity. Excess calcium will make the heart to stop in systole. Calcium is also responsible for excitation, contraction, coupling of neuromuscular apparatus. It is actively involved in the membrane transport mechanism. Lack of ionic calcium leads to tetany, which can be prevented by administration of calcium salt. Calcium is an essential constituent of bones and play an important role. Any disturbance in calcium metabolism affects various cellular functions. About 99% of the body, calcium is present in the bones and exists in the form of a complex salt containing calcium, phosphate and carbonate. Calcium is distributed extracellularly and most of the calcium present in blood and present in the plasma. Calcium is an important component of the cell membrane and control its permeability and electrical properties. Calcium is an essential factor between excitation and contraction in all forms of muscles. It is essential for the formation of bone and teeth. The ionic calcium present in the blood plasma is essential for the coagulation of blood as it helps in the conversion of prothrombin into thrombin. What is the deficiency of calcium? Calcium deficiency results in vitamin D deficiency. That means hypoparathyroidism, renal failure. The symptoms are convolutions, skin and nails show atrophy, in decrease in size of a normally developed organ or tissue. Apart from vitamin D deficiency, calcium and phosphorus causes rickets in children. What is the excess of calcium causes? The excess of calcium occurs in hyperparathyroidism. That means the symptoms are lethargy, weakness, nausea, vomiting, constipation, etc. Excess calcium gets deposited in various tissues, arteries, muscles, etc. It may develop some mental changes also, which is a medical emergency. Next, we have to know about iodine and its compounds. What are the sources of iodine? It is mostly obtained from seaweed, saltpeter, sea fish and cod liver oil. What are the pharmaceutical preparations of iodine? There are three types of iodine solution: weak iodine solution, strong iodine solution and aqueous solution. Weak iodine solution is also known as tincture of iodine. It contains 2% of iodine and 2.5% of potassium iodide. Strong iodine solution, it contains 10% of iodine and 6% of potassium iodide. Aqueous iodine solution contains 5% of iodine and 10% of potassium iodide. What is the biological role of iodine? Iodine is probably the oldest and the most widely used antiseptic. It is one of the most important substances required for the synthesis of thyroid hormones. It is also a powerful fungicidal and germicidal agent. Elemental iodine is ingested, it can cause irritation and shock. Iodine tincture is usually employed for disinfection to surgery. Iodine glycerin preparation is applied in the in the treatment of tonsils. Iodine ointments are used as fungicides in the treatment of ringworm. It is used in several radio-opaque preparations used for diagnostic procedure. The iodides are probably the oldest remedy for thyroid disorder like enlargement of thyroid gland known as goiter. It is used as an antiseptic agent, but it has unpleasant odor. It is present in food in inorganic form and absorbed from gastrointestinal tract. What is the daily requirement of iodine? Daily dietary requirement of a healthy adult is 100 to 200 grams. What is the deficiency of iodine? Lack of iodine leads to swelling of thyroid gland. If mother suffers from lack of iodine, there is a chance of having dwarf babies or a newborn baby where have other deformities. Iodine deficiency may occur in areas where the element is lacking in the soil, which may give rise to the goiter. The use of iodized or sea salt helped in prevention of this diseases. If excess of iodine is have intake, it causes and it excretes via kidney. What is the copper and its role in our biological life? Copper is present in all living cells of both plants and animals. It associated with formation of chlorophyll. It occurs native in nature or in combined form. It is obtained from copper pyrites, cuprite, copper gland, malachite, etc. Food is also an important source of copper. It is present in leafy vegetables, fruits, nuts, cereals, poultry products, etc. Important compound of copper used in pharmaceutical preparation is copper sulfate. What is the biological role of copper and its compound? Copper is present in the body as copper protein complexes and it catalyzes certain reactions, especially hemoglobin synthesis in mammals. Some important copper containing enzymes are cytochrome, ascorbic acid, etc. Hemocyanin, a copper protein complexes present in red blood corpuscles of crab, spider and snail is responsible for carrying the oxygen like hemoglobin in man. Some mammals contain copper as copper protein complex known as hemocuprin in red blood corpuscles. Abnormal copper metabolism lead to a disease known as Wilson disease, which is characterized as pathological changes in the liver. Brain and liver of infant and fetus contain more copper than adults. It plays an important role in the utilization of iron for the formation of hemoglobin. Copper is also present in some coenzymes as a cofactor. Liver is the chief storehouse of the copper. Copper sulfate is used as an emetic which evokes vomiting by irritation as gastrointestinal tract. It also possesses fungicide and algicide property. What is the daily requirement of copper? Daily requirement of copper is 2 milligram is enough for an adult. Deficiency of copper. It has certain role in animal nutrition as newborn lamb suffers from swag in absence of copper. It is not described in adults, but children on a milk diet may show anemia responsive to traces a copper with iron. Copper deficiency produced in animals causes anemia. It favors absorption of iron from intestine and also it transports from and to tissues. Copper deficiency may lead to Menkes disease, which shows the symptoms like unstable body temperature, abnormal bone formation, steely hair, etc. So, today we discuss about some of the important biological roles of inorganic compounds. In that, we discuss about the role of sodium, potassium, iodine, copper and calcium. So, we have to know about the importance of this inorganic compound and take the intake of requirement in our daily life. Thank you so much.